Hello and good morning. If you feel called to be here, called to be cozy with me, to hear some messages this morning because I am very called. I'm so sorry. This is not my normal setup. I know it's because it is 4 in the morning and I'm awake. So I feel very called to have a conversation with you about forgetting, which is interesting. It's not normally a subject I talk about, perhaps. But there is something you've forgotten, I think perhaps, about yourself, even. So that's an interesting topic. And I'm curious. I'm going to pull some of my tarot. My tarot meaning I made this deck. Just to see what the vibes are. What this is about. How have you forgotten yourself? And that was 111 on the... If you hear noises, it's the cats, so they're also awake. Okay, so what have you forgotten, perhaps about yourself? Let's see. What's this collective forgotten? Let's see. We have strength, and we have Knight of Spring, which is Knight of... I made this deck and I'm forgetting. Knight of Swords. Jeez. Strength and Knight of Swords. Now that's interesting. Maybe you've forgotten your power. And this is like power to change something more than anything else. Or you've lost the power... lost your power in logic. Maybe you've been thinking too much with your heart, or we have the Tower. Okay, yeah. So what I'm seeing here is someone who's recently gone through something. There's something that you've recently gone through that has taken a lot of strength, like a lot of emotional strength. And perhaps it's one of those things that's pushed logic out of the way. For some of you, you might be intellectualizing the situation instead of, really sitting in the emotions of this situation. Something has recently, rocked your entire world. So that's... Yeah, okay. I normally don't take reversals, but this feels good. So we have Ace of Cups, and then we have 5 of Pentacles in reverse, which I find really interesting. Because I think that there's definitely something that perhaps you've been dwelling on or has been very heavy on you. And I think that, with this 5 of Pentacles in reverse, if it was upright, I would say that perhaps you're dwelling on something that is, not necessary for you to dwell on. But this feels like maybe you're not giving yourself enough time to really sit with the things that have been taken from you. That makes sense. The parts of you that feel lost, right? Because that's kind of what we're getting at, is that whatever the situation is that has recently happened, whatever has kind of flipped your life upside down, has very much, it feels like it's taken yourself from you. It's taken, your self-esteem or your belief in yourself, or there is a part of you that is looking to find you again. So you have the Empress and the Ace of Swords as well. So there is definitely a new spring coming. I would say that this might have happened recently, but for the most part, I'm getting something that has been weighing on you for a while now, or has been weighing on you lately. Even if it hasn't happened recently, maybe it's coming back up, memories of this situation, or maybe you're finally tapping into these emotions because I'm getting it's coming back to haunt you because maybe you never really processed them. You weren't in the space to process them. But I'm getting this feeling of you are missing this part of yourself. You're missing the part of you that makes you feel alive or makes you feel most like yourself. But that there's a new spring coming. I think that this is one of those things it's you don't really notice. What are you eating? Oh, he ate it. I think it was catnip, so we're good. You don't really notice what parts of yourself feel like they're missing until you really start examining yourself. So there's usually a period of like, there's a tower moment that everything falls apart and then you need to adjust. And in the adjustment period, there's really a lot of times you lose yourself because you're just focusing on not drowning, right? You're focusing on adjusting to change. You're focusing on trying to keep up. You're focusing on reevaluating or reorienting your life to fit whatever this new thing is. Whether this feels positive or negative to you personally, what can be devastating for one person can be an opportunity of hope for another person. And there is usually a silver lining on a lot of these things. Not always the case. But this tower moment can be disruptive, whether or not it feels good or bad to you, right? And there is a moment where you do need to recalibrate, reorient yourself. And that's kind of the space that I think a lot of you are exiting. There was this moment of just kind of internal shutdown, like personality shutdown in a way that really leaves you now feeling like you're trying to make up for lost time, when really there is a message here of also like, this was a necessary thing. Like you kind of closing up, maybe going hermit mode, maybe just trying not to drown, maybe trying to survive. Like that was your priority, and it's not like you did anything wrong in having to exist that way. That's a very normal way to exist when things are changing rapidly, or, you know, when the rug gets pulled out from under you, or whether or not you expected this thing, you know, and it could be a good thing. Like maybe you got an opportunity for your dream job and it was so much more work than you expected, or just a change of work, you know? Like, these aren't necessarily all like your house burned down and your mom died and, you know, all of these things. It can be overwhelming to get even exactly what you want. And that's very normal. And especially if like you experience any kind of neurodivergence, like your mental health can be very disrupted by any kind of big change. So if you're feeling, this is a message for someone specifically, but if you're feeling very like run down and you're feeling very like, if you have a lot of negative self-talk, or you just feel kind of embarrassed or like shame that you are struggling with something that is supposed to be good or is what you wanted, if you're feeling bogged down with that just because it's a big change, that's normal. It's totally normal. And it's not a bad thing. It's not a negative thing. It's just a very human moment. And we can't always be on top of everything. There will be moments where we need to adjust because things will be scary, things will be shocking, or things will just need to change. And for some of us, that takes longer, right? Like, I know that if I were to get everything I wanted right now, or if I were to even get the next big thing I wanted right now, a big surprise opportunity, that I would need an adjustment period. It would stress me out to get the good thing. And it has in the past. I've gotten jobs I've always wanted, that I've begged for, that I've been working for, right? And then when things started, the workload was much different than the life I was currently living in. It took a lot of adjustment. It just stressed me out. And like I had to shut down for a little while and just focus on that transition period of getting to the next normal, setting in new routines, adjusting to the new workload, that kind of stuff. So if that's something that's been weighing on you, that's just very normal. And I promise that there is like this grounded energy, this version of you, who you think you are, who you feel you are at your core, it'll come back, right? Like, you're not gone. You might feel like you're missing, and it might feel very scary, but you're not gone, right? It's just a moment. Look, you're the star. You're the star. Like this group that I read for a lot is like, you're so hard on yourselves. I think you're so fucking hard on yourselves for just very normal human things. And I don't know if you just like, if it's based on your own, you know, like you have rules for yourself that don't apply to anyone else, or if it's how you grew up seeing someone in your life like experience this and you're like, this is normal, this is just like how I have to live my life. Or why, I don't know why you're so hard on yourself, but like, you do not give yourself enough credit, because this thing that has recently taken place I feel like for a lot of you, I feel like for most of you, it's not devastating, right? It's not necessarily good. For some of you, it's something that you've always wanted. And that's like, I'm really getting that message of like letting you know that like it's okay that you're stressed about something you've always wanted, or that it's okay to be overwhelmed by something you've always wanted. But for some of you, it's like there's an aspect of grief perhaps with this thing, but it's not even long term or like overall devastating in the way that it will change your life. So for some of you, that might be like, you know, like something like a breakup or having to leave a space or having to leave a job. That's what I mean. Like there's an aspect and a time of grief that you're feeling in this moment, perhaps, or in the past about this thing, and maybe that's what we're at the end of right now. But like, you know that once this leaves space for something new, that the new thing will be much better than whatever you were experiencing. I feel like you guys are people who have been through a lot, perhaps, and the Strength card is very much like, you know, like, there's very much that energy of like, I'm sick of being strong, and like, when do I finally get... You also have Queen of Spring, Queen of Swords. So there's a lot of air energy. So like, you are really trying to get back to yourself, and I think that like, that's kind of part of the problem, like just a little bit. That's not a problem in general, but I think that there's like this feeling of like, you're really, really trying to intellectualize whatever you're experiencing. And it's kind of stressing you the fuck out. Like, you're like, especially asking yourself a lot of like, why is this not better? Why am I not doing better? Why am I feeling this way? Like, there's a lot of hard feelings, not really what I'm looking for. There's a lot of internalized things. There's a lot of subconscious, maybe not bullying, but like frustration with yourself about why you're not further along or why you're not. And I do have to remind you, you guys are kind of kicking ass. Whatever this thing is. Now, if this thing is genuinely and truly devastating, obviously that's not like something to be like, oh no, this is really a blessing in disguise. If it's really and truly devastating, then like, that's obviously, this message might not be for you, to be honest. There could be some messages in here, but it might not be mainly for you. But the state of the world is, it's bad out here, guys. Like, it's fascism. We're in a bad place, right? It's not great. We're like, you guys are kind of kicking ass in whatever your life goals are. And like, that's not your only reason to be here. Whatever your personal goals, financial goals, spiritual goals, like your growth goals, whatever those are, it's not the only reason why you're here, right? Can I help you? Tibby agrees. I think. I might also just be mad at me, but really, there is this need to like, I think, recenter yourselves in the... And I don't mean like dwell on current events, right? Because there's a lot of stressful shit happening. Some of you do need to find perhaps an outlet for some of the stress you're feeling. And that might be looking like getting involved in something to like put that energy, put your restless energy or stress energy, because it's like, you know, if you're going through something that feels destabilizing and you're experiencing the world which is also currently very destabilizing, then yeah, it might be time to like transmute that stressed, anxious, flighty energy into a hobby or into some sort of cause, whatever feels necessary for you right now. Distraction or action, whatever feels good to you right now. That might be time to do that, because there's a lot of this like rumination, and a lot of you feel like, I'm getting that a lot of you are like, if I ruminate hard enough on this, I will find the answer. That is not gonna happen, babe. Like, that's not what we do here. So for some of you, you might need distraction, whether that's like a hobby, a friend. Some of you might be stuck in a production loop. So like, if you really feel unable to do jack shit because your brain just isn't working, you might just need to like chill with some people, or even like watch a movie, rest. Perhaps you're allowed to rest even though you're not being productive. For some of you, you might feel like you really need to put your energy toward a cause that really matters to you. So any kind of volunteering, any kind of action toward change that matters to you, any kind of awareness, that could be very important to you. And I think you gotta stop thinking about yourself right now. And I don't mean that in a selfish, like, you don't need to think about the things that you need in life to exist. And you don't need to think about, like, what you need to be healthy and safe. I just mean, like, I think a lot of you are very stuck on your own personal goals and your own personal growth. And the fact that it's stalled means that you're ruminating in that space of, how can I fix this? And I think a lot of you are like taking that energy of like, there's a shit ton going on in the world that I can't control. There's a shit ton in my life going on that I can't control. How can I ruminate on making myself a better person in a way that has me being productive enough so I can prove I'm a good person, or changing enough to prove I'm a good person? Like, there's a lot of like, this energy needs to shift from being so focused on what you can do to be better, and just either completely disengaging with like any kind of progress, or like making something, and like go rest and like enjoy your hobbies, enjoy TV, enjoy movies, enjoy fucking sleep. And for some of you, it needs to be like, I actually do need to do something. And it needs to be like, go volunteer, go spread awareness, go build something, right? So I think those are the two camps, and it's up to you. And I think the people who need to build something, it should not be from a place of guilt or a place of panic. It needs to be from a place of, okay, let's do this. If you don't feel like you're in a place of like, okay, let's do this, like, if your initial reaction is like, holy shit, I can't do this, rest. It needs to be rest. It needs to be rest at least for a couple days. Maybe then you do some action, right? If you're like, holy shit, I need to do something, not because you feel like if you don't do something, you're a bad person. If you're like, I need to do something because this is important to me and it won't burn me out and kill me, then action. Yeah, that's your move. That's your move. I feel also like, and I don't know if this is just what you guys need, or if it's like, this is your energy. I'm feeling the need to explain the same things over and over again and give a lot of caveats. So I don't know if you're in an energy of like if it's part of scrutinizing everything you do, like scrutinizing yourself and being like, if I don't explain every single one of my moves, then someone's gonna cancel me. Like, there's also that energy. So some of you might need to like back off of social media as well, or like back off of publicly sharing like your life or something, if you're feeling very like attacked, or if you have that fear of like saying things. Some of you actually might need to keep doing it harder. So like, it's there's a big dichotomy in this group of like people who need action and people who need rest. And I think it has to be up to you to figure out which group you're in, which camp you're in. But I do find myself like having to explain things a few times and give a lot of caveats. And I don't know if that's for understanding on your part, or if that's the energy you're in, like needing to over explain yourself. But I also feel self-conscious about it, which is strange because I normally do not notice myself talking what feels like in circles. I usually just keep going. So I don't know if you feel like you've been talking in circles or if you feel the need to, but I feel kind of insane. So you might feel kind of insane in this moment. We got a win-win forecast. We got nothing yet. Nothing is yet set in stone. Yeah, I think that I think the win-win forecast is really about like, regardless of how you handle this situation, it will pass, right? regardless of how you handle this situation, you will learn something from it. You will learn something from the way you handle this situation, whether that be a place, an area of your life where you may need to work, or an area of your life that just needed a complete overhaul. There is a positive silver lining to this. Again, I'm feeling the need to clarify, not something I normally do all the time. If this is something that like legitimately is traumatizing or soul crushing to you, this message is not for you. Like, I think some of you are like maybe lost in grief. I'm trying to find a message that's for you. If this is about something that is truly devastating, then this is not for you. Perhaps the message of you are feeling lost is for you. But I think that there is no reading that is a cure for grief. And there is no message I can give you outside of this will pass and you will learn to live with it. There's nothing you can do to better still yourself for loss of that kind, I think. And you're welcome to stay, of course. But I think that whatever you need to do in this moment is completely understandable, completely necessary. It might be bad shit, but just understand that, like, it's okay to be crazy sometimes. The world is so hard to live in. And sometimes insanity is the only natural reaction to the systems and situations we encounter on this planet, especially as it currently operates. So 2222, if that's you, Babe, just go do whatever you need to do to get through this and hunker down, survive it, and come out better. And there will be this reading, there will be other readings here for you when you are ready to get back out there and really start living in the world again. So I think that's part of why I felt the need to clarify some of these things, but I felt really called to be like, hey, if you're beating yourself up over something that is truly fucking devastating, you just gotta figure out how to survive it. And then we'll talk about self-development. We'll talk about growth. We'll talk about things we need to do to move forward. So you're welcome here, of course. But if I give any kind of advice that's like, you know, get your head out of your ass. Don't listen to me because your head can be in your ass right now. That's fine. Anyway, so nothing is yet set in stone. Also important because I feel like with a lot of you, the rumination comes with a lot of future thinking, right? That's what anxiety is. It's worrying about things that may or may not happen. But for a lot of you, I feel like are stuck in this cycle of like, because I'm not productive now, because I don't know what I'm doing now, because I'm unsure now, because I feel lost now, because I'm not regulated, I'm not okay, I'm not here now. That means my future is fucked, right? But no, your future can change at any moment, girl. Miracles happen, weird shit happens, life changes like that, which you know of, because you just experienced this tower moment, right? So, Tibby agrees. Also hates a door being closed. But this is what I'm saying. You also hate a door being closed, right? Perhaps even if it's good for you. Perhaps. But this is what I mean. There's a lot of anxiety about futures that may or may not happen. And all we can do is try to stay grounded in this moment. And focus on what we can control. Distraction or action. Your choice. I'm going to pull some final cards from my Oracle deck. Some final messages. Because I feel like you might be in a cycle of looking for confirmation, looking for ways to be better, looking for ways to fix yourself. And you are not broken. You are just experiencing a part of your journey that you are uncomfortable with. So a couple more messages, please. I need him to chill. We have Lock and Ignite. That's very interesting. See, this is what I'm saying. There are so many more moments in your life where you will experience miracles or luck or inspiration, and you will be able to take off. And I think for a lot of you, that's really right around the corner. I think you are in the process of finding yourself again. You are in the process of meeting that part of yourself again. I got a message that is, your circumstances are not always signs. Sometimes they are just your circumstances. That is to say that life is just full of shit. Life is full of hardship. Life is full of transitions. It's full of awkward times. There is this message of, it's okay to have downtime. It's okay to just be experiencing what you're experiencing. You will be grounded and secure and in the moment again. And if you can find fleeting moments of happiness during this time, during this transition, while you're still adjusting, while you are looking to find yourself again, if you can find moments where you can engage in the things you love, engage in your hobbies, engage in your favorite movies, engage in your favorite shows, and in your games, you know, that kind of stuff, with people in your life. If you can find little moments of that, that's a good start. And you don't need to be doing any more than that. Just make sure you're surviving, make sure you're eating, make sure you're drinking, make sure you're taking care of your health, taking your meds, whatever you need to be doing. And just let this transition happen and process whatever it is that you couldn't process while you were in the middle of the stress, in the middle of the mess, in the middle of the adjustment. It's okay that even though you feel like you should be adjusted by now, or like you are adjusted by now, that all these feelings are coming back up because you're now safe. You're now in a place where you can process these things. So let go of all of the mental, right? Let go of analyzing why you are where you are, of being frustrated with yourself. Easier said than done. Understood. Do your best to channel that energy into either rest, focusing on hobbies, focusing on friends, focusing on the things you love, things that light you up or have lit you up in the past, or action towards the things that are important to you, the things that influence your spheres, the things that impact your life and others' lives. Your time will come again to move forward. Your time will come again to make progress. Your time will come again to feel like you're winning, feel like you get what's going on, feel like you're on top of the world. It will happen. But right now, it's okay to just sit in it. And I would implore you to sit in it and just exist. Be here. And the rest will come in time. So that is what I'm seeing for you guys. You are so capable and so hard on yourself, and really need to try to do your best to take some breaths and focus on things that help you get through this and process those feelings without intellectualizing them. So if you guys ever want a video on how to do that, I'll gladly make it, but that's what I'm seeing for you for now. Thank you for being here with me at Cozy and Comfy. It's time for you to be cozy and comfy and rest. And I will see you all when your vibe vibes with my vibe. Thank you, and I love you.